What's up, sons? It's Blind Rod with Son of a Tech once again, and welcome back to yet another Talking Head video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Ubisoft's latest announcement to start basically utilizing the blockchain within their games. We're going to get into it right after a word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Crypto.com. Crypto.com is my go-to centralized exchange for liquidating my crypto assets. With their Crypto.com Visa debit card, I can load up my mined Ethereum to pay for power and other operating costs quickly while earning up to 8% cash back. In addition to the Visa debit card, there are additional fiat options including wire transfers to easily receive your profits. Crypto.com also offers additional services including trading and even staking to earn additional revenue on your investments. Join 10 million plus users buying and selling 100 plus cryptocurrencies at true cost by using my affiliate link in the description for a $25 funding bonus. Or enter referral code SOAT at sign up for the same bonus. Remember, cryptocurrency investment comes with significant risks, so do your own research. Welcome back. So I just got back from the road, and that's why we are doing a talking head video today. This in particular comes from Twitter initially, where Ryan Brown basically tweeted out Ubisoft has announced plans to create a play-to-earn NFTs and blockchain games, stating they want to be one of the key players there. Now, it does link, of course, to an article, and this article is in the International Business Times, which is ibtimes.com. I'll leave a link to the original source down in the comment section below. The article basically points out, has three key points here. Ubisoft recently held its earnings call. Ubisoft CEO revealed the company's plans, and these plans include development of play-to-earn games. So the article basically starts out saying that French game developer and publisher Ubisoft has shared its plans to be the key player in the industry when it comes to developing projects based on the play-to-earn concept. Blockchain technology and NFTs have begun disrupting the gaming industry, and though Valve previously removed blockchain and NFTs on Steam, other platforms like Epic Games have become more welcoming. Now, it looks like Ubisoft wants to take part in the action as well. The company did not only invest in Animoca Brands, a blockchain gaming company, but also announced its plans to integrate blockchain technology into its video games releasing in the future. It is worth noting, however, that the company's plans remain vague to this day. So if you guys aren't familiar, Animoca Brands has raised a ton of money, and they are basically one of at the forefront for NFT integrated video games. At this point, they really don't have a ton of stuff as far as products go, other than, you know, these primary game products, which you can go to the website. We'll leave it linked down below. Base One, Siegecraft Commander, and Crazy Defense Heroes, and Crazy Kings. It does look like WWE Undefeated, Power Rangers Legacy Wars, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and Battle Palooza, and Gunscape, and Projection First Light, The Addams Family Mystery Mansion, Gamey, and Quid. So I guess quite a few more than I was initially anticipating. What I mean by that, though, because this is my concept, right? When I'm thinking about gaming, because I'm a gamer, at the heart, that's kind of what this channel even started out as, was primarily PC gaming and gaming in general. That's what I started in, you know, my whole YouTube career with, and it quickly turned into cryptocurrency. But that being said, games, in my opinion, like real games that are fun to play, good games, are not necessarily anything that's on this list. Now, to be fair, I haven't tried a lot of these games, and maybe obviously we need to go through some of them before we make our judgments, but I haven't heard of any of them, right? This isn't like your typical AAA titles. Now, Ubisoft would potentially be someone that is going to integrate this into AAA titles, such as, you know, things like Assassin's Creed and so on. Is that going to be good, though? And the article here does go on to, talk about it a little bit more, saying that play to earn is a hazy concept that allows game developers to give away cryptocurrency in exchange for playing a game. Ubisoft Chief Executive Officer basically shared more about this at the company's most recent earnings call. The executive, who believes blockchain is very attractive for the long term, said the company is interested in creating digital economies. Quote, as you see, this industry is changing regularly with lots of new revolutions happening. We consider blockchain one of those revolutions. It will imply more play to earn that will enable more players to actually earn content, own content, and we think it's going to grow the industry quite a lot. So here's where gaming and cryptocurrency gets a little interesting, right? Because as a gamer, I've been through a lot of different iterations of how gaming functions and the different basically monetization methods of video games in general. I started out playing video games on consoles way back in the Nintendo days, NES, Super NES, and then of course through the PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast and N64 and all the way, right? PlayStation 3, I have a PS5 right now, and I have an Xbox One S back here, or Series S, and I have video games on my PC as well. And originally the way this worked is that you basically were able to purchase essentially one game, a console game on a cartridge, and then you owned that game in perpetuity. You didn't have any patches that went on with it, and then you would basically plug it in and play that game. A little later on down the line, they came out with, expansions, and those expansions you would basically purchase would add on content to that video game. But once again, it was like a single one-time purchase. It added on to the video game and you owned it in perpetuity, and then everything was good to go there. Then, of course, we had the age of the internet and everything starts shifting to digital, especially with the Steam storefront. And what that enabled people to do, as far as developers, is also come out with more content for each individual title, as well as update content to individual titles. And so there was basically an incentive to keep people to play more and more. They could add more content and then charge you for it. Now, what ended up happening in the long term, right, is we ended up with these things known as like season passes or battle passes. And essentially how those worked is initially you had the season pass where or not even a season pass, but just a pass that would allow you to get all of the downloadable content over a given period of time. That changed into a season pass, which was a seasonal thing. Games like Destiny and so on do this, where you go in and you pay, whether that's monthly or quarterly or however that works, whatever their timeline is. And then that's a recurring cost. And as part of that recurring cost, you get additional content and you get to stay up to date in that particular game with all of your friends. And then finally, of course, you have like the battle pass stuff, which doesn't necessarily add content other than cosmetics and perks within the game. And games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, and so on kind of have these things. It's similar to the season pass, but it's a monetization method that basically ends up in recurring fees. And all of these types of like downloadable content and purchasing has gone through a lot of different iterations. Obviously, the term pay to win was an issue for a lot of games. One of the games called Ghost Recon Phantoms that I really enjoyed had this issue where, you could just purchase the better weapons with real money, and that was always kind of a problem. That's kind of gone the way of the dinosaur. It may come back with NFTs though, because the incentive methods are changing. The idea here is that you are going to basically be earning currency while playing the game. Now that sounds fantastic, but it's going to be wildly dependent on each individual developer to implement the economy properly. In-game currencies are nothing new. World of Warcraft has had them, you know, Eve, lots of MMOs, New World. So we could talk about New World's messed up economy right now as an example of an NFT play to earn game going awry as far as the economy goes, where they're basically having to shut down systems within the game to basically try to fix the economy in Amazon's New World because it's so messed up. And if that happens into a play to earn game, you are going to have a bunch of users that are heavily invested in it that you are going to impact directly. So implementation is going to be very, very key. Also, the demographic here is not the type of demographic that necessarily likes more in-game transactions. The reason for this is that if we're talking about, in general, the types of games this would go into, like let's say an MMORPG, the cosmetic realm of MMOs or just RPGs in general has pretty much been ruined by microtransactions within in-game purchases. And the reason for this is because back in the day, if you played an RPG, the way you made your character look really cool is that you played the game and then you got the drops and then you equipped those drops and then your character looked better. You had some sort of payment for the time you invested into the game. So when you start adding microtransactions in that allow people to accelerate past you or change their look to something that looks cool by spending real money for that given item, it basically makes you feel like your item is not worth as much because at this point anybody could just pay for it. Now, the play to earn may change this, of course, in a manner that allows you to earn that. But then if you're able to dump said cryptocurrency into the title, then it could just turn into a pay to win issue all over again. And I'm willing to bet that initially it will be more pay to win than a balanced economic system within the title itself. And that's just going to be the way it is, right? None of the real world money stuff that has come out has ever really functioned or ended up working out in the long run. Diablo 3 is a great example of this, where it released with a real money auction house where you could buy weapons and armor within the game with real money and you could sell it for real money, and it was a disaster. So at this point, you know, am I highly confident that NFTs will be implemented properly initially into video games? No, not at all. Do I think Ubisoft would be the one to do it? Historically, no, not at all. They are some of the biggest offenders to microtransactions, and they will not take this in a proper direction that adds to the experience for gamers. It will only subtract from the experience for gamers. So this is going to be very important. It can be exciting from an investor's standpoint. You know, all the boomers that are like, oh, crypto's cool. Kids like video games. We can make more money with crypto and video games. You know, people that don't play video games are the type of people that run companies that make video games now, and that is becoming an issue. There's not even been a good video game released in so long, I don't even know anymore. So adding some NFTs onto it at this point isn't going to solve that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video on my little rant. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more cryptocurrency content. I'm headed out to the mining farm to get those 3070s we talked about yesterday online, and I will see you next Tuesday. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to see more. Also, you can check out this playlist for more content talking about cryptocurrency.